So I'm on my lunch hour today, and I thought I'd show you what I think are the most essential items to have in your Haversack kit. Stick around. So it's a beautiful fall day. I'm at work. I'm on my lunch hour, trying to get out and walk a little bit. And just enjoy this weather, but I thought I would show you what's in my Haversack kit and the items that I feel are absolutely kind of essential. With Haversack kits, people tend to really overpack them. I've seen some of these bags that these guys put together, and they're just, you might as well get a backpack at that point. And I like to keep a Haversack in my truck, so when things like this occur, when it's a nice day, I can get out and go for a walk. I can throw this over my shoulder and have some essential items with me and cover some of the basic stuff that I need. And then also, it's a grab and go item. When I go camping, I can take that out of my vehicle, sling it over my shoulder with my backpack, and then head to a campsite. And I have the things that I need to start a fire, hydrate myself, treat some wounds, first aid, things like that. So I'm going to go through my kit and show you everything that I carry in my bag and see what you guys think. So here's the Haversack. Now everybody's going to ask, what's the Haversack? Where can I get one? I love it. It's awesome. Well, I hate to tell you, this is a Haversack that I received years ago from a company that was actually out of Russia. Of course, you can't get anything from Russian companies because of the war. I'm not even sure they're in business. It was probably a prototype that they sent me. So the Haversack doesn't matter. So if you have a Haversack, use what you got. This is one that I have. I have many different ones, and this is one that I've been carrying recently just because I like the layout of it. But there's a lot of great makers out there like Tough Possum Gear and Hidden Woodsman. Those are probably two of the best. I would check those guys out for their Haversacks because those are fantastic bags. But this one carries all the essential items that I need for a day out on the trail or even a couple days camping. And it has things that I access and utilize all the time. So a big thing that you always want to carry with you is some type of hydration. And I have found that canteen kits really work the best in Haversacks. This is a Tough Possum canteen pouch. It's just a simple piece of 500D Cordura, but it holds a canteen kit really nicely and kind of keeps the contents of my bag clean, because when I pull this out and I show this to you, you're going to understand why. With a metal canteen cup, I'm using this over the fire, and it gets very sooty and dirty. Now this is a Keith titanium canteen with the cup, comes with a lid, and I've had this for years and years and use it all the time. That's a great option because it allows me to, of course, drink water, keep hydrated, but also I can boil water in it if necessary. I can make coffee. I can cook food, ramen, soup, whatever I want in this thing, and it does a great job. And it's just a very sturdy piece of gear. Like I said, had it for years. So that goes in this little pouch, and that keeps the inside of my Haversack nice and clean. So you can go to Tough Possum Gear to get that if you're interested in it, and also check out his Haversack as well. Pretty nice option. Then along with it, I'm going to bring the lid that goes with it. That helps with boil time. In here, I've got a little spork that came in this little carrying bag. I'm trying to remember where I got this at. I've had this for years as well. Oh yeah, this is Wild Camping International. They're a company out of England, but there are similar things like this on Amazon as well. It's just a nice lightweight option. You never know when you're going to need to dig into some snacks or share some food with people, or even if you're getting carry out or from a food truck or something, sometimes they forget to give you the utensils. It's nice to have one with you. So Haversacks can be utilized in urban environments as well as the woods. And then I like to bring my Vargo titanium stove. I'll cut in some video of how I use it. It's a fantastic option. It's very lightweight, doesn't take up very much room, it's flat, easy to put together, and works very, very well. Another Tough Possum product. This is one of his pouches. I'm not sure if he makes this one anymore. If he doesn't, it's too bad because it's a fantastic little pouch. But I use this for my first aid kit, and this is just things that I'm going to encounter that are pretty normal. So it's boo-boo type items, it's Band-Aids, it's I got some wipes in here to clean myself up with. I've got some chapstick, lip balm. So it's just basic items to care for myself. There's also probably some Tylenol in there, things like that. You don't always have to have a big blowout IFAK for gunshots and things like that. Now, another item that I've really come to love and find very useful is a little saw, and this one is from Opinel. Had this one for years as well. It is a very sharp saw. It performs very well. But what I like about it is it's not huge. And with that little wood burning stove, you really don't need big pieces of wood. So you can utilize this little wood saw and get the job done pretty easily. And that's pretty much what I carry in this main compartment. In this front compartment, there is all kinds of stuff. So in here I have a Write in the Rain pouch, and in this I keep, of course, a Write in the Rain notebook just to take notes. I've got one of their collapsible pens. Doesn't take up a lot of room, doesn't weigh a lot. I really don't need a big note-taking kit. And then in here, I always carry one of these little wrist compasses. This is a Suunto. It does a really good job. It works very well, performs just as well as my other larger compasses, but it's a good backup. And I carry a small hunk of 550 cord. Lots and lots of uses. Very, very handy. And here I have my Falkniven DC4 sharpening stone. Just got this one recently, so it's still fairly new. Haven't used it a lot, but I've had similar ones, and this is definitely comes highly recommended. I know a lot of guys love this stone, and it does a great job because it's got, of course, the diamond on one side, and then you've got an actual stone on the other. So always like to touch up my blades when I'm in the field. Fire starting, of course, is always super important to me, so a Bic lighter, because these are what's readily available to me, and then I wrap mine in some duct tape. That way I have some tape with me for repairs. And then I always like to have a little tin. This is an Altoids tin, but I use this for my flint and steel kit, so that helps me get a fire going. But it's a skill that I like to practice when I'm in the woods, and I just enjoy flint and steel, so I carry it. But this gives me the ability to char material, natural material, and I've got some jute in there, so that gives me some tinder. You don't need a lot of stuff to start a fire, but that's a lot of fun to work with. Of course, a nice beefy ferro rod. This has its own striker, but I can also use the back of that saw to strike the ferro rod, but always want to have a ferro rod with me, just because it's one of those items that we, as bushcrafters, always like to use. And a couple of interesting items here. I always carry a pocket bellows, and this is the original pocket bellows, comes in a little case. But this really helps getting a fire going when you're having problems with like wet or damp wood. And then an interesting item that I've had for many years, this is a brass match case, match safe. And of course I've got the lifeboat style matches in there. The ones that you can kind of dunk underwater and then pull them out and they'll reignite. But what's interesting about this match case is it has a built-in compass. And the compass actually works. But that's a nice little backup. Now, I don't know who makes these anymore. I'll try to find out, and if I can find some information, I'll put a caption down below for it or a link in the description. But it's just kind of a nostalgic piece of gear that I've had for years, so why not bring it? Plus it's nice and slim, doesn't take up a lot of room. One thing to throw in your kit is just an emergency blanket. This is a Mylar blanket. I can't remember who makes this one, but this actually has like survival stuff written on it, like how to make a solar still and how to set it up. But you know, if you're going hypothermic or you're with somebody who's going hypothermic on a hike, having one of these can really make or break the day, can really help them out quite a bit. So it's a great item to carry. And then an overlooked item in the Haversack kit is, I think, is having guides and maps. So I always like to have some kind of map of the area that I'm in, but I also like to have hunting regulations with me so I can quickly look up and see what things are in season and out of season, make sure that I'm being legal, or I know that if there's hunters in the woods, I know what they're hunting. I enjoy identifying mushrooms, don't necessarily eat wild mushrooms, but I like to identify them, so a mushroom guide of the eastern United States is super handy. It's a nice pocket guide. And then I have this really cool pocket field guide that I picked up from, who did I get this from? This is from Craig Caudle. He wrote this, and this is the introduction to animal tracking. Oh yeah, there he is. Keep on tracking, Craig. He signed that for me. So I was in one of his classes at a Bushcraft meeting, and I bought this off of him, and he signed it for me. But anyway, there's Craig, fantastic, knowledgeable expert in the field of bushcraft and survival. And this is a nice little field guide about identifying animal tracks and tracking basics and how to do it. So having guides along with you is a great way to hone your skills, to give you some reading material, and to provide some good information. So that is really what's it in my Haversack. Now you're probably wondering, like, okay, you're missing all kinds of stuff. Like, where is the knife, and where's the trauma kit, and where's the water purification? Well, you don't always need all that stuff. Not everything has to be an extensive survival kit. I have a metal container. I can sterilize water by boiling it. I do have a first aid kit to treat minor wounds. I have navigation. I have combustion for making fire. I even have a layer to keep me warm if I go hypothermic. I've got maps and guides. I have a saw. Now, a knife is something that I'm always going to carry on me, so I don't put one in my bag. I'm usually going to have some type of pocket knife with me. You know, at work, urban carry, I'm going to carry a small pocket knife. It's a new one I picked up from Walmart. This is an Ozark Trail. Nice little knife, cheap, but it works. I usually have some type of Swiss Army knife with me when I'm in the woods. And then, of course, if I'm camping, I'm always going to have a 3 to 4 inch fixed blade knife at the minimum, and that's up to you. But this is my Haversack kit and the essential items that I think I need. If you're new to bushcraft or survival and you're trying to figure out what kind of stuff to carry, I hope this video at least kind of gave you some ideas of the bare minimum that you need and things that I find essential and I find handy. There are a million different items you can always add to your kit, but what I find is they really become unnecessary. So the thing to do is to start with a basic load, go out on some outings, do some hikes, and then start adding and subtracting things that you do and don't need. Now, another thing that is not in here that I didn't show and that I don't have in here right now is some food. You're gonna want some snacks. So usually I carry a couple Cliff bars, a few instant coffees, maybe some soup mixes, especially now it's getting colder. I'm gonna add some things that I can make for warm drinks and soups. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, tell me what you think, tell me what your essential Haversack items are, and as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Prepared Wanderer.